Welcome, friends, to the channel Classy Frugality. My name is Tanya, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. On today's video, I want to talk to you about some things that I would like for you to stop doing immediately. There are 7 things that many of us do that waste time and money. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some of the frugal things that I have done this evening to help me save some time and some money. Let's get right into it. So, number 1, not planning your meals. How many times have you come in after a long day or even woke up in the morning just famished, just willing to eat anything, but you look and you frantically search in the cabinets and you don't see a thing. Everything you see is, inconvenient. Maybe you have a big frozen roll of sausage, but you're hungry right now. You could have saved a little bit of time and especially money if you decide to go out and buy something in a drive-thru for breakfast because you didn't have food prepared. If you just planned ahead, plan those meals ahead. It takes time to choose what you eat and to make sure you have the right ingredients in your house for those meals, to cook those meals. So do yourself a huge favor and plan those meals. Save time and money. Number 2, mindless social media scrolling. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Facebook. You go to Facebook and you start scrolling and scrolling. Next thing you know, your shoulder's hurting and your neck's hurting because you've been scrunched over doing this with the thumbs. And you look up at the clock and it's like, wow, what happened? 2 hours have gone by. 2 hours of time that you cannot get back anymore. What else happened during those 2 hours? What'd you see on Facebook while you were looking? Well, you saw that your neighbor down the street got a brand new car, and it's that one that you've been eyeballing and looking at, and then you start thinking about your own car, and you think, well, I could probably trade it in, and they would probably give me a pretty good trade allowance, and I could probably swing, an extra $100 a month on a payment if I were to get that car. See where I'm going with this? We waste time on social media a lot of times. We compare our things that we have to other people's things. We covet other people's things, which is, the Bible says, is sinful, by the way. And we start thinking about what we have, and we may even spend money that we barely have, or we need to borrow, or that we don't have. We go into debt just to get something to keep up with those neighbors, just to get something to try to make ourselves feel a little better, to feel like we have accomplished something in life, by getting that new car, by getting those, that new big engagement ring that you couldn't afford 20 years ago when you got married, new furniture. It's just all kinds of ways that Facebook can be bad, social media can be bad. It can cause you to waste your time and money. I'm not saying it always is. I enjoy seeing pictures that friends, family, neighbors all post. I especially enjoy seeing posts of my granddaughter and the things that my son and daughter-in-law post about my granddaughter. But you have to be very cautious and mindful of how you spend your time on social media and the quantity of time that you spend on social media. All right, number 3, procrastination. I think I'm just going to sit down for a while, and really that doesn't need to be done right now. I can take care of that later. I'll balance that checkbook later, and I think I'll just pay the bills a couple days from now when I feel like it. Well, next thing you know, you go to balance that checkbook. There are a couple of expenditures on there that you forgot about. So now your bank account balance is shorter than you thought it was. Also, there was a due date that was yesterday, and they've already tacked a late fee onto it. Had you balanced that checkbook and paid those bills 2 days ago, you could have avoided that. So that's a big thing. Besides, if you get things done today, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You feel like you have done something. You feel like your life's together and in order. And it also motivates you to go ahead and take on other tasks and things that you've been dreading for a while. If you get into it 9 times out of 10, you see it's not that bad. All right. Number 5, not being organized. Now, this is along the same lines of the things that can happen with procrastination, but I want you to stop running around like a chicken with its head cut off, as they used to say, and I want you to do some planning. I want you to prepare yourself. Give yourself a little bit of extra grace, in case an emergency happens. You never know what might happen. So let's say you don't have things organized. You don't know where you stand with your emergency fund. You've not been working toward that. You've just been putting that off. What if you have a flat tire? Your lack of organization and planning toward a little bit of emergency fund suddenly makes that emergency 10 times worse. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to me either. So the best thing to do is to just try to be a little more organized. Doesn't take that much longer, and it'll make you feel so much better. All right. Overloading. Sometimes you just have to learn to say no. Sometimes you can overcommit, like you can get so many things going that next thing you know, you've got something on that calendar every day. And then you're running short on time to do the things that you need to do because you promised somebody else you would do something for them, that you would help them, right? By having something on that calendar every day that you got to go and you got to run, you're spending money on gas. That could be money that you do not have. Now, a lot of times our hearts are in the right place. We have the best of intentions when we set out to help somebody, but let's be realistic, folks. Let's not overcommit. A lot of times if you overcommit too, you stretch yourself thin. You can't do a good job at any of it. So find 1 or 2 things and then gracefully decline on all the other things. And you will have much more time, more money, and you'll be a lot happier too. Okay. Having too much clutter. We've all been guilty of this. My husband complains about his clutter all the time. And he's actually spent inordinate amounts of time out there in the garage looking for stuff that he knew he owned, but couldn't find it. He's also ended up giving up and going and buying whatever widget that was that he couldn't find and having to spend more money. So it wasted his time looking for it, wasted money buying more, and a lot of times we end up finding the item anyway. So then we've got duplicates. That's all because of all the clutter. So we're working to get some more of that under control, and I would urge you to do the same. Finally, keep an ongoing shopping list. Don't get to the store and waste time strolling up and down those aisles or frantically running up and down those aisles, trying to figure out, okay, what do I need? What do I need? Is it something from the frozen food section? Did I need bread or did I already have bread? What do I have? No, you're going to buy stuff extra, especially if it involves perishables. You don't want to buy duplicate perishables because then you'll either have to give it away if you have too much or you will let it spoil and waste money. So go ahead and keep you an ongoing list. Put it on the side of the fridge. If you don't like stuff on the fridge, I don't. I don't like refrigerator magnets. I don't like stuff on my refrigerator at all. I like it to be bare and clean. So sometimes I will tape a list to the back of the cabinet door. I've told you before, I think, about how I have taped like a menu to the back of my kitchen cabinet, and I'm motioning up toward my cabinets if you wonder what I'm doing. I'll tape a menu up there too, but tape your shopping list up there. And what better place to have it anyway than right in here in the kitchen. That way you can have it convenient when you want to write something on it. All right, well, those are all the tips that I have right off the top of my head. And now we're going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you some of the frugal projects that I've been working on this evening. Okay, check this out. So, a few weeks back, we had a little bit of a little gray mouse problem. They started building homes up at the top of the hill on the top street of our subdivision, and I feel like after they started clearing that land off and broke ground for those houses, I feel like it ran some of the little field mice down here to our house. So we had a little bit of a problem, and I had some bags of flour in there in the pantry. Well, I call it the pantry. It's my laundry room, but I have a big shelving unit in there that I keep stuff on. Well, one of the mice got my flour, so I had to throw the whole thing away. I moved some of the items in here to the other room where they couldn't get to them, and they didn't. And had to buy new flour and all that, but we've cleaned everything. We've taken care of the mouse problem. They're gone now. They moved on to bigger and brighter things, hopefully. But I thought, I cannot have food waste anymore. I cannot afford to let anything happen, you know, to my staples anymore. So, you know me, I save cans anyway. I save all kinds of stuff, twist ties, I save envelopes that come in the mail. So here's what I came up with. Okay. Small coffee canister. You see the label. The label is an envelope label off of just a return envelope that came with one of my bills. Same with this. It's just a really, really big coffee can. I had more sugar than I did flour, but those are metal cans, which is hard to find these days, by the way. A solid metal coffee can. A lot of them are that cardboard with the silver looking paper on them, but these are metal, so the mice won't be able to get in there anymore, and neither will any kind of moisture, bugs. I'll be able to stick a scoop down in there and just scoop out what I need and then close the lid tightly. And I'll just keep them sitting in there on the shelf. I mean, they don't look that bad. If that one didn't have a bright yellow lid, if it had a black lid, I might even keep them in here in the kitchen, but I don't like to take up a whole lot of counter space. I like to have room. Anyway, I was pleased with how that turned out. All right, moving on to the next thing. So I was watching somebody else's YouTube video. I don't even remember who it was now, but they were making waffles, and I thought that sounded so good. I had not made waffles in a long time, and so I don't know. It's sort of a hassle to me to make waffles because I keep my little waffle iron up in one of the upper cabinets, and you know, I have to get it down. I have to clean it where I don't use it very often. So I thought, well, if I'm going to make them, I'm going to make a whole batch and I'm going to freeze them. So this is what I did. The whole gallon bag. I'm sorry that I think the camera is moving on you, but I just dated it and put the instructions. What I did after I made these, I scored them along the lines with a little pizza cutter, and I laid them flat on a baking sheet to cool down. And then I stuck the baking sheet, the cookie sheet, in the freezer, and I froze them, and then I put them in the bag. I thought if I didn't do that first, then if I just tried to put them in the bag, just thawed out the way they were, that they'd probably stick together and they wouldn't be worth eating. So I'm so tickled with how they turned out. Now, I don't have to pay $3 a box for a box of waffles, or whatever they run these days. I'm not even sure what they run. It would definitely depend on whether you got store brand or like Eggo or whatever. But I ate a couple, you know, quality control. I had to test them. They were delicious. So now we've got breakfast, or probably for my husband it'd be a middle of the night snack, knowing him. So we've got plenty of that now for the rest of the week. So I wanted to tell you too, another frugal thing I did this morning was I made sure I packed my breakfast and my lunch to take to work. I can't show you that because I've already eaten it and it was good. But I would encourage you to do that every day. Saves so much time, it saves so much money, and it tastes so much better than fast food. Have you all noticed the quality of like fast food and stuff? Like, things don't taste the same as they did when I was younger. Burgers are smaller. I remember that commercial, Where's the Beef? Well, that Where's the Beef lady would probably, she would probably just fall over now, because there was probably twice the beef even back then when she was asking where's the beef. So that's what I'd like to know, where's the beef? But you know what? I don't have to worry about the taste, the quality, the cleanliness, the prices of any of that if I take my own food. So that was a frugal practice in which I engaged today. Which, by the way, it was from some food that I batch cooked night before last. I took a pound of ground turkey. I fried that up with one whole diced up onion, and then I separated that out into two. I used half a pound of that turkey, and you know, half of it was a half a pound of meat. Half of that for some pasta, and I used the other half to make some vegetable soup. That was really good, and we still got some. Like, we'll eat on it for a couple more days at least. But I am so glad that you watched the video, and I had fun with some of the projects I did. Maybe that'll encourage you to do some projects of your own. Try to think of ways of your own to save time and money. But if you enjoyed the video, please give me a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. I am at 819 subscribers, I think, and I would love so much to get to 1,000 subscribers. As a matter of fact, when I do, I think I'm going to have a giveaway. But if you would hit the subscribe button in the corner, I would greatly appreciate that too. I'm getting tired. I think I need to go to bed. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And until I see you again, be blessed.